Hi again, this is Chris Walden, talking to you live from South by Southwest in Austin, Texas. I had a session I went to the other day, and I didn't have a chance to really write about it. And as I thought about it, it's not really something I can write it. You kind of have to see what I'm talking about. So here's what happened. I went to this session. It was put on, it was called Rewards, Emotions, Designing with the Brain in Mind. It was put on by a couple of researchers from Venezuela, Carlos Velasco and Alejandro Salgado. Hopefully I pronounced those names close to correctly. And they were working on the concept that our brains are pre-wired to certain kinds of stimulus, certain ways of looking at things, and that by making sure that you understand what's connected to what and that you use it correctly and you keep everything consistent, you can help deliver the kind of message and the kind of content that you're looking for. Here's an example, and this formed the bulk of their explanation. I have two items that I'm holding up here, two different shapes. One of them is, and don't worry about the words, the words may be nonsense, but just listen to them. One of these shapes is booba, and one of these shapes is kiki. That's Bouba and Kikki. So which one do you think is booba? People I've shown this to, even though they have no idea what I'm talking about, they don't know what the word means, they go, well, if I had to pick, I would say that this shape is booba. Why? Well, because it's kind of round. It sort of makes sense. And so which one is kiki? And they agree that this one is the kiki one. And it's kind of sharp. It's angular. Now their concept is that if you notice anything that you deal with, any kind of stimulus, colors, shapes, music, um, uh, other kinds of textures and things like that can be divided into booba and kiki. And you don't need special training to do it either. If you start looking around you and deciding what you think is booba and what you think is kiki, you're going to get it right because that's the way your brain works. So here's how this applies into working with different kinds of information that you may want to use. They were dealing with it primarily as it relates to advertising and things like movie trailers and things like that. But I think it applies into software design and other ways that you want to present information, interact with people. In general, booba, if you look at that nice, round, comfortable shape, it's going to be things that are softer, mushier, slower, comfortable. Those are the booba sorts of things. Kiki is going to be more active, a little sharper, maybe more intense, maybe even a little scary. Um, Definitely exciting. So what they said is that one of the downfalls that people have is they'll mix their expectations. They'll take booba things and they'll mix them with kiki in a way that is jarring, in a way that doesn't connect. So for example, if you are trying to do something, let's say you're doing some kind of web design and you want to make people feel very comfortable. You want to make people feel relaxed about what they're doing. You may want to make sure that everything in that design is booba, that the colors are going to feel correct, that there's a roundness to everything, and that the fonts that you choose fit in with that. On the other hand, if you're trying to build excitement, you're trying to build urgency, you may want to make sure that everything's kiki, brighter colors, sharper edges, round, relaxing buttons, angular, urgent buttons. Interesting, isn't it? And it applies to all different kinds of things, any other kinds of elements that you might want to put in. Maybe you want to mix some video in here. Make sure that it all kind of flows together. Now, we only had a short period of time there. They had a lot of information, and I wish there was a way to get hold of their presentation. Maybe South by Southwest will make that stuff available, and if I get it, I'll point you to it if it can be available. But for right now, just let yourself play with those ideas. Don't worry about getting it right. It's all wired in up here. And think about what you're doing. Is it more booba or is it kiki? This is Chris Walden talking to you from South by Southwest. See you later.